guys, today I am filming a thoughts on hauls reflecting on all of the products that I purchased during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty for spring 2020. And if you saw my most recent video, it was my Ulta 21 Days of Beauty haul from spring 2021. So I'll have that linked in the cards. I thought that was fun that I, of course, because my thoughts on hauls are reviews of hauls from a year ago, that these are lining up correctly, so hopefully you don't mind them being back to back. But I thought it'd be interesting to hear my thoughts on the things I bought last year and if there's anything that I regret purchasing, because there are times where I am really tempted to buy stuff just because it's on sale and not because it's something I necessarily wanted in the first place. So we'll see if there's any of that in this haul. So the first thing I have is one skincare product. This is the Badescu Botanical Exfoliating Scrub. And I have used up a deluxe sample size of it and really enjoyed it, which is why I chose to buy it in the full size. And the texture of this scrub is a sugar scrub. So I do think it does a nice job of exfoliating my skin, but it's not too rough. I don't feel like it's scratching my skin like more of a walnut scrub would, but I don't think it's necessarily as effective at scrubbing as something that's a little bit more fine and sandy. I do tend to prefer that texture a little bit more, but this does still do a really good job. I like this product. I'm using it right now. I'm about halfway done. And I did also end up purchasing, I think in December, my other favorite exfoliator, which is the Clinique City Block Purifying. It's like a mask and exfoliator in one. That one's a bit more sandy. So once I use up the both of them, I think I'll really be able to see which one I prefer, but both of them are absolutely fantastic. And I would recommend this. I know because of skincare TikTok, people crap all over Badescu, which I think is so hilarious because everybody used to really recommend this brand, rave about their products, and now they're all acting woke to like, oh, this is a terrible brand now. Like, that's just irritating to me. Like, I don't know. That is very irritating to me. I still support Badescu. I still want to try some of their products. I still recommend some of them. This is a good one. I'd recommend it. I don't care what skincare TikTok says. And the next product I actually do regret buying, which you might be surprised by because I mentioned it as a favorite, and I'll explain. It's the CoverFx Mattifying Primer. And basically the reason I regret purchasing this is because I was still working through a full-size bottle and I did not need to repurchase it, and it took me so long to use that up. I basically just got sick of it by the end. I do still think it's a good primer. I do still really like it, but I have a ton of primers in my collection and I did not need to buy this in a full size because while I like it, it's not life-changing. And I have a very hard time with mattifying primers because I'm so oily. You either have primers that are more like this, where they've got a little bit more slip to them. They might be smoothing. They're not necessarily hydrating or dewy, but they don't actually do a ton to keep your oil at bay. But then you have the other kind, like Becca Ever Matte, Makeup Forever Matte Primer. What else? There are several others I've tried that are like thicker, more gluey, that I've hated because while I might be a little bit more matte in those areas, then the rest of my makeup breaks down. It wears terribly throughout the day. I have a very hard time blending foundation on top of those type of primers. So I've just had a really hard time finding a very mattifying primer that works well for me, which is why I tend to use mattifying primers, powders, and setting sprays, because all of those things together help lock in my makeup without making it look too blotchy. So I do still think this is a good primer. I would rather have like a half size of this because I know it's going to take me so long to get through because I have so many primers in my collection. It's still a good product. I do still recommend it. I like it, but I can't say if you're oily skin, this is a must have. This is going to hold your makeup on all day and you are not going to be greasy. I can't say that to you. Next thing was a repurchase. This is the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. My shade is 12 in Fair Neutral. It is a perfect brightening shade for me. I love the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I've tried a lot of things that people have said are dupes, and this is still my favorite. It gives great full coverage, has more of a satin finish, which I really enjoy because I have very oily skin even under my eyes. has a great shade range. While this is pricey, a tube lasts me for like, if I was only using this, probably still like 6-9 months. Like it's insane. I really love this product. I do have a backup of it. And in the sale this year, I did just buy the ultra creamy one to see what the difference is between the two. So I'll share my thoughts with you guys on that in like a month or so. But this is still a holy grail product of mine. Always happy to be able to get that half off, because while you get a lot of product, it's totally worth the money. It's also very pricey. Next, I purchased 4 of the monochromatic duos from CoverFx, which were super raved about. And I purchased 1 bronzer and 3 of the blushes. And there are 2 bronzers. This is the lightest one, believe it or not. This is called Sunkissed Bronze. I'm wearing the matte as my contour today, and I'm using the more shimmery side to bronze up my whole face. I did like the E3 with it. I really like the matte formula. It's very pigmented, it blends nicely. This does have a bit of a warmer undertone, but I really like it. I think it's very pretty. The metallic side, however, is rather warm. It doesn't necessarily look like it here in the pan, but it looks a little warm, could be a little orangey in the skin because the rest of my makeup's so warm. Because I have a warm undertone, I think it looks fine, but as I will mention with the blushes, I feel like the shimmery part is so hard to pick up on a brush to really have it show in your skin. Its swatch is fine, but please let me know what brushes you've tried that work well to pick up that side. So what I use today and what has worked the best for me with the shimmery side is this Morphe M462 brush. It's like just like a dome duo fiber brush. And I took this brush and really worked it in there and buffed it on my skin, and I do think I've got some nice color showing up, but it's not too much. It did blend nicely, but I was really digging in there with this brush. But you can see I've got product all over it, so it did work. But long story short, I wish that all of these duos for the bronzer and the blushes just came with the matte side. It was half the size of the compact. I wish it was half the price. These are very, very expensive, and I'm sure some people like the metallic side, but I know most of us just use the matte side, and then you're only using half the product, and it makes it very, very pricey. Because half off, these are $19, and I think that'd be fine if you just gave me a matte bronzer, a matte blush for $19, $20. Fine, that's reasonable. So then we've got my 3 blushes. There are 6 shades, I believe. So I am wearing this shade today, Soft Peach. So I do have the matte side on most of my cheeks. And then I did use a dense angled blush brush with a shimmery side right on my apples. I don't normally apply blush on my apples, but I do think for like a blush topper, it looks very pretty there. And I like it when I couldn't really see that much color, but I was able to see the shine right here on the apples, which is pretty. I love the matte shade, very pretty. For the blush and the bronzer, I feel like the formulas are the same. I think they're just as pigmented, just as blendable, which could be good or bad. Like you can definitely go overboard with that bronzer, so be careful. But I love this blush, very, very beautiful. And I'm happy that I have that one. Next is the one that I wore yesterday. And this is Pink Dahlia, which is a more warm pink shade. Just okay. I did not need this one. I don't wear pink blush very often. Yes, it's nice to have some variety in my collection, but I do prefer more peachy blushes overall. But this is nice because it is a warm pink, not a cool pink. Formula is just the same, but I do regret buying this shade because I'm never like, oh, I want to wear Pink Dahlia today. I'm like, oh, Heather, put it in your makeup basket and make yourself wear it. So I could have done without that one for sure. And then the other color I have is Warm Honey. This is very intense. It's very deep, but it's so pretty. I love this one for the fall time. I have to be very careful with it, but I am very happy I have this shade. It is a really unique color to my collection and performs super, super well. So basically, I think you got my thoughts on these. I love the matte side. I think pigmented blends nicely. I have to use a light hand when I apply them. but I do like the product. However, I can't fully recommend it or rave about it because to me, the shimmer side is useless. It's very hard for me to use and I'm so fair. So again, let me know what brushes that you use with the shimmer side that work for you. But color wise, I do love the bronzer and I do love the soft peach and warm honey blush. I just wish they sold the matte side individually and we would be good to go. The next product I have is like a cult classic. This is a Nabla Skin Glazing Highlight in Ozone. It's the lightest shade in the range. It is a very fair shade with more of a yellow undertone. So I am wearing this highlight on my cheekbones today. I think it looks nice. For this being more of a baked gelée product, it actually applied pretty well. I don't like baked gelée. I guess that's kind of like what the metallic shades are in here. I do not like baked gelée formulas in basically any type of product. I do find them hard to pick up on a brush, hard to apply to the skin. Sometimes I feel like it just like picks up glitter, not enough base color in general. But this one I think looks pretty. It did apply well, but it's okay. I don't get it. I don't get why people are so obsessed with this. For me, it's just fine. I never specifically reach for this. There are other highlights in my collection that I'm so much more excited to use and that I love so much more. This is just fine. I'm happy that I have this. I do not regret buying this, but I'm not going to buy any more shades. I mean, they probably wouldn't work for my skin tone anyway, but I'm not going to buy any more shades. However, I have really been tempted to try one of the bronzers and one of the blushes, but again, I'm worried that I'm going to have a hard time applying them or not feel like they look that special on my face. I had always kind of planned to pick up one shade of each whenever I do like a 2,000, 4,000 Ulta points haul, but what if I want to return it? I've never returned something with points. I know you can get your points back, but then the value is not the same because like the more points you have, the greater value they hold. So let me know your thoughts on it. I do still want to try them, but it's not at the very tippy top of my wish list. So just okay for me. I don't fully get everybody else's obsession. Next is the only product that I have not used. I'm very happy to say there's just one. This is the Urban Decay Brow Blade. And this has a marker side and a micro pencil side. I have not used this yet. I'm trying to use my brow products oldest to newest, and I had so many backups of the NYX micro brow pencil, and when I use that in combination with like Benefit Goof Proof, my brow pencils last me ages, so I just wasn't using them up as quickly as I used to. So this is going to be the next thing that I try, but it might be a little while from now. So I will definitely share my thoughts when I try it, but I haven't yet, which I know is so bad. The next thing was a repurchase. This is the Benefit Gimme Brow Gel. I have the shade number 1. I can get away with wearing shade 1 or 2. I'm not going to open this because this is in my backup drawer right now. I love that tiny little brush. It does a great job of helping to emphasize the brow hairs, gives some nice color, holds them in place well, but it's not like the hold of Anastasia clear brow gel. But luckily for me, my brow hairs aren't too coarse and they don't really kind of go all over the place. They really behave for the most part, which is fantastic. I love that. I will definitely continue to repurchase it, and luckily Ulta does a great job. Whenever they do their 21 days of beauty, of one of the Benefit brow products is usually included, so definitely recommend that. And the last thing I have is one of the Buxom full-on lip creams. Luckily, this is almost always included in the spring sale. And I chose the shade Bellini, which is a light nudie peach. This is what I'm wearing today. I love this color. I never hear anybody talk about this shade, but they should. I feel like it's very underrated. Everybody loves White Russian, but I actually don't love that shade on my skin tone. Creamsicle is another one I have that's very pretty, but it's a lot brighter. This is much more wearable for every day. And today I lined my lips with the ColourPop Lippy Pencil in Little One, which is a nice light peachy nude. It's actually lighter than the cap. So I lined my lips with this and then just put the gloss on top. I am loving this combo. I think it goes so well with this eye look and this blush. I could be wrong. My taste is not amazed, but I'm loving this combo so much. The Buxom glosses are my all-time favorite, hands down. I like the lip cream formula much more than the lip polish. I feel like they give a nice light medium, possibly medium opacity depending on the shade that you have. They can be a little bit sticky but not too bad, but they have like a decent wear time to them. I love that they're minty, that they're cooling, they don't burn or tingle. Very, very happy to have this shade. I'm excited to use it more, and especially now that I tried this combo, I feel like I'm going to be reaching for it even more. It's a really pretty shade that I can really wear like all year round, but I have it pulled for spring. I think it could be nice for fall as well, but I'm really liking this for spring. So guys, those are my thoughts on all the products that I purchased from the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty Spring 2020 event. I would love to know your thoughts on these products, and I would love to know what you picked up this year. Again, if you did not see my video, it was just 1 or 2 videos back, my haul video for this year. I will link it in the cards. Please check that out. And I'm going to thank you all so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.